What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I am your host. I'm Caitlin Kenneth Smith, and on today's episode of the podcast, we're going to be starting a new series. Now, I have two series that are currently going on in the Powerhouse Mentality podcast, and the reason why is because I think a lot of people like series. It's something that you can follow along with. People like a story, people like following a journey, and both of these series are completely different things. So the first series that I'm doing was what the previous episode was, where it's telling my story and telling the pieces of my story from how I overcame an eating disorder, how I got started in fitness, how I started to build the powerhouse mentality, how I went all in on myself, both physically and mentally, to become the person that I am today. And it's something that I can continue to add upon as I continue to grow as a person, as an athlete, and as a founder of the powerhouse mentality, how we're building the business, building the brand into something unbelievable. And I want you guys to follow that journey. But this series is one that's very special to me. And the reason why it's very special to me is because these are the principles that I've lived by over the last 4 years to be able to go from the person who could barely have a conversation with somebody because of the lack of confidence and lack of belief in herself to the person that I am today, having a podcast, being somebody who talks on social media, has many clients that I help on a daily basis, and I'm not really afraid to talk to people anymore like I was. And this is called the Discipline Bootcamp. And now the Discipline Bootcamp was something that I originally started when I had my first Facebook group, when I first started online coaching, called the KK Fit Fam. If you are from the original KK Fit Fam, then I appreciate you for hanging tight with me all these years. But I used to do a weekly live in that Facebook group called the Discipline Bootcamp. And every single week, it was just a different mindset topic that I would talk about. And it's kind of similar to what I do now in the Powerhouse Mentality Facebook group, where I do a Powerhouse weekly training, but a little bit different because, again, I was a little bit more awkward and I didn't have as much skill when it came to speaking because I didn't have a podcast. And the more reps you put into something, hell, the better you get at it. So I think that if you don't cringe when you listen to yourself speak from years ago, or cringe when you listen to yourself, do videos after doing it for so long, then you're not doing it right. You're not making progress. But the Discipline Bootcamp has 5 daily disciplines, or 5 different mindsets, 5 things. And there is a bonus one at the end. So spoiler alert, this will be 6 episodes long. And I'll release an episode each and every week. Now, today is discipline number 1. And as in powerhouse mentality fashion, I'm not just going to give you the information. I'm also going to teach you how you can apply it into your life. Because if you hear one of these disciplines and you think that it's a great idea, or you feel like you're being called out, but then you have no idea how to actually implement it or apply it to your life, then what's the point? I say it all the time. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge only has potential power, but it's what you do with that knowledge that actually matters. So, discipline number 1 is keep the commitments that you make to yourself. Now, before I get into the topic, I really do actually want to set the tone. So let's stop for a moment. I want you to really focus on this. If you're driving, if you're working out, you can do this later. No, don't hurt yourself. But let's stop, and I want you to paint a picture in your head. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I want you to use this next moment to visualize the person that you strive to be, the person that you're working towards, your dream life. You can stand in the mirror and look at yourself and love the person that's looking back at you. You don't have to check your bank account every time you go to buy groceries. You walk into any room with full confidence in who you are. You can take care of your family without hesitation. And you go to bed every single night with a full heart and a full soul, knowing that you gave everything that you had to each and every day because you have that fulfillment. All of your dreams, all of your goals, you've accomplished all of them. Feel the emotions in that moment and be 100% present in that moment. I want you to feel it. Now open your eyes and be honest with yourself. Are you truly doing whatever it fucking takes to earn that moment? Are you truly living up to your full potential through your daily actions? Or are you letting life get in the way? Are you settling for good enough because you're too tired or you don't have enough time? For most of you, you are standing in your own way, and you are standing in your own way of becoming the person that you want to become. Now, remember how you feel right now, because I want that to fuel you and drive you to do more and be more, because you can. Every day, I want you to visualize that moment, and I want you to chase it with everything that you have. So now that you have that fire built up within you, let's get into discipline number 1. So discipline number 1, like I said, is keep the commitments that you make to yourself. Now, we all have that person that we know who always cancels their plans at the last minute with you. So you plan to meet up for coffee maybe at like 10 a.m. And as you pull into the parking lot, you hear your phone ding just to see a text from your friend saying, hey, I'm not going to make it today. You're disappointed, but at the same time, you're not. You're not really surprised because they've done this to you multiple times. So you no longer really trust or believe anything that they say when it comes to making plans. And eventually you don't even go to the parking lot. You don't even go to the coffee shop because you know that they're going to cancel on you. Do you realize that that's exactly what you're doing to yourself? When you told yourself you're going to go start the diet on Monday just to get thrown off and find yourself ordering a pizza because you had a tough day at work? Or how about I'm going to go and I'm going to get up and go to the gym in the morning before work. But then when that alarm goes off and the bed is nice and cozy, you tell yourself, I'll go later, knowing damn well that you're not going to go later. And it's hard to trust yourself when you're always going back on your word, when you lack the integrity of self. And you continue to break the promises and you continue to break the commitments that you make to yourself. And this causes you to lose confidence, lose belief, and you never build enough belief to create positive momentum towards the life that you want. You lose trust in yourself, and that's when you start to say, maybe I'm just not cut out for this fitness thing, or maybe I'm not meant to be successful, or maybe I'll just settle with this job that I have right now. You settle. You settle for mediocrity when you could do so much more if you just kept the commitments that you made to yourself, regardless of how you feel. And it becomes a slippery slope. Now, keeping the commitments that you make to yourself needs to be a non-negotiable in your life. Something to live by. Set the standard, hold the standard. Make the commitment, keep the commitment. Zero buts or ifs. Simply put, just keep the promises that you make to yourself no matter what happens. And that's really the difference between those who are average and those who are great. Those who are average do what's necessary to become great and achieve their goals when it's convenient, when they feel like it. And they do it inconsistently. They're inconsistently perfect instead of consistently good. Those who are successful, they get that shit done regardless of whether they're motivated or inspired, regardless of what's going on in their life. They keep that commitment to themselves because they know that it's going to pay off. And it does. Small things done consistently over time compound to create massive change. It's not going to be one big extraordinary thing that gets you the life that you want. It's the small things done for an extraordinary period of time. But most of you don't keep the commitments to yourself long enough to actually see change. And I heard this concept a really long time ago. It was probably like 5 years ago at this point. I was listening to an Ed Milet podcast, and he had somebody on there, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the Biggest Loser trainers. And he was talking about how, he would work with these people who were severely obese, and he would say, these people didn't just accidentally become obese. And they knew damn well what they were doing. They knew that they needed to make a change, but for some reason they weren't. And the reason why is because they were just there because of all the promises that they broke to themselves. They were 500 pounds because of the broken promises. Every Sunday they tell themselves, you know what, I'm going to get in shape. Tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow's my day. But then they would go back on their word. They wouldn't keep the commitment to themselves. And then they would start to lose confidence and belief. And when you don't have confidence and belief in yourself, it's really difficult to make anything happen. Because why bother if you have no belief that it could actually happen? If somebody told you like, hey, I want you to work as hard as possible to build this business, but the business is going to fail. It's not going to work out. Would you work hard to do it, or would you just stop working hard? Most of us would stop working hard. So the thing you need to do is you need to create positive momentum. And the only way that you can do that is through winning, because confidence is simply the memory of winning. And we need to build confidence, and you need to build belief to continue to create momentum to build the life that you want. So the way that we're going to apply this into your life is that I want you to create a list of 3 daily non-negotiables. So I want you to first determine your daily non-negotiables. And the reason why this is so important is because I said before, set the standard, hold the standard. Setting the standard is a wish. Holding the standard is an action. Coming up with a game plan is a wish. Executing the plan is an action. A wish isn't going to get you to your goals. An action will. Saying I'm going to get up to go to the gym in the morning before work is a wish. Actually waking up and going to the gym is an action. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the difference? A wish doesn't do anything without action. Most people stay in the wishing phase and never make it to the action phase, or they go into the action phase, but they don't continue to stay in that action phase. They do it occasionally. So let's set the standard for you. Let's set your daily non-negotiables. So write down 3 things that you can do today that will bring you closer to where you want to be. For example, if you want to lose 20 pounds, then your daily non-negotiables could be track your food, drink 100 ounces of water, walk with intention for 30 minutes a day. If you want to build a business, then your daily non-negotiables could be 30 minutes of research in my field to become an expert. It could be start 5 genuine conversations on social media or in person with potential clients. Create relationships. And it could be post 1 piece of content on your social media to create more engagement and to create more awareness of your brand. But the way that I really like to set this up for somebody just starting out is to focus on 3 daily wins through those non-negotiables. A physical win, a mental win, and a spiritual win. That way you can become a complete winner and not just a winner in one area of your life. So a physical win, moving your body, whether through walking, running, lifting, swimming, it'll boost your mood, energy, and your overall health. You're going to feel a hell of a lot better when you're taking action and becoming a healthier version of you. A mental win is anything that's going to stimulate your mind. You can do that with reading, writing, creating, learning. It keeps you sharp and it keeps you inspired. I find that too many people over-consume and under-create. We need to do a lot less consuming and a lot more creating. And the third spiritual win, strengthen your inner self through praying, meditating, studying, and growing spiritually. It will help you stay grounded. Life isn't just about having professional success, right? It's about winning in all areas, being the CEO of your life. Some people will never be a CEO of a business, but you can always be the CEO of your life. And that's where it truly matters. So if you dedicate time every day to 1 physical win, 1 mental win, 1 spiritual win, you'll become more balanced, you'll become more fulfilled, and you'll realize that you're making progress in not just one area of your life, but all areas of your life. So that way you can be a complete winner and you can gain confidence, gain belief in yourself through winning. All right, so keep the commitments that you make to yourself. Say it to yourself every single day in the mirror when you wake up. The first thing, you're brushing your teeth. Keep the commitments you make to yourself today. Keep the commitments you make to yourself today, no matter what. And go out and do one thing that's going to take you 1 step closer to where you want to be.